What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG. And welcome to Dear Black Gay Men Live. It's still our short, bullshit free step out of our comfort zone to talk about all the emotional ups and downs along the journey to happiness. Now, we're having real conversations with real people live on the Dear Black Gay Men YouTube channel. Tonight, I'm talking to one of my, what I would call him, one of my closest friends. One of my closest friends. It's actually a very important conversation I want to have. I'm hoping that you will watch this one from beginning to end. This is our Not Your Average World AIDS Day conversation with my friend, the soon to be doctor, Daniel Driffin. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, friend, how are
I
you?
can't I can't tell you how much pride I take in calling you soon to be doctor. Like, I put a space between the B and the doctor because I want to get accustomed to saying Dr. Daniel Driffin. You're
I
adding
think,
another D.
oh, it's a journey, friend. It's a journey. But I thank you so much, you and our community for propelling me to the opportunity that I continue to get to serve every day. So thank you.
That was very diplomatic of you. I'm just looking forward to seeing Dr. period D Driffin. That is really what I'm looking forward to. I take pride in like Dr. Mel Branch, Dr. Brooks. I take pride in these doctors. Doctor uh I can't even remember the names, but there's so many good doctors. You're gonna be the good doctor.
I'm gonna be a
Are
good
you
doctor.
looking are you looking forward to that?
I am finishing the third chapter, so that's the methodology chapter of my dissertation. And I have like one
Mm-hmm.
more section before I send it to the committee. And from here, I'll defend, what I plan to do for my study. Um, pending, yes, I'll be doing primary data collection in the months of January and February. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully, finishing everything up so I can walk across that stage this May.
And so that was actually a perfect segue because as much as I know you are enthralled with research, this ain't a conversation about research. This
Okay.
ain't the World Days Day with the slides and talking about the epidemiology. We're not having that conversation. I want to
Okay.
be clear about that.
I hear you.
Uh, okay, good. So when you get too sciencey or too researchy, I'm gonna pull you back in. Do I have
Okay.
your permission to do that?
You have my permission.
Perfect. Well, before we get into our conversation with Daniel, make sure you hit the share button, share the live to your timeline. I would love to hit 50 shares for this episode. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So make sure you subscribe to Dear Black Gay Men on YouTube so you never miss an episode. In celebration of World AIDS Day, in addition to that, I want everybody to drop a red heart emoji in the comments so we can remember those who have transitioned um, from complications or reasons associated to HIV and AIDS. Daniel, the reason I'm nervous, I don't know if you remember this, but there was a conversation you and I had in Bulldogs one time where you told me about how inconsistent I am. Do you remember that?
Maybe, maybe.
You got me together. And interestingly enough, this is what I said on this is what I ended up saying on the podcast. You ready for this?
Go
Watch
ahead.
this. My problem a long time has been commitment to many things. I It was hard for me to commit to people for a long time, but even before that it was always been difficult for me to commit to just about anything that I put my mind to. When I was little, I used to play the piano, and I played the piano in a church for a long time, and I quit that for several reasons. When I was got a little older, I got into so many different business ventures, so many different things that I thought I could put my mind to. Like I wrote a web series long time ago. I couldn't even commit to the 10 episodes of that. It's hard fucking work, but I couldn't commit to that. I couldn't finish it. Damone. I shouldn't call you that because that's not the name you're going by. As much as you got me together for my lack of commitment, my life has never been dependent on me doing something consistently. Yours, however, has. And you were diagnosed. You found out your status at a very young age. Where did you find the consistency for you?
That's an interesting question. I believe in like the astrologies and stuff like that. So I think by default, as a Taurus, I like the same pattern, So I think the consistency came as a result of truly just setting into patterns. I think, and I think that really started as an early age from, working probably with my grandparents, since the age of like 9 or 10. So I think the patterns and just having something to do every day, is the consistency that I've always been, connected to.
I mean, you are making very small of this huge thing that you've done. Cause like so I'm on prep, right? I and even I still forget pills. But that doesn't have as huge an effect on me as it would have on you. Like, how did you in my head it just seems like undetectable is a tough road to hoe. It's a hard thing to become. How does did it weigh so heavy on you early on?
I think so. And I had a friend in undergrad who learned of their HIV status, during that period of time, and they were not necessarily always consistent to their treatment. And again, we have to see, this is how you get me to talk about research. We have to be mindful, that back then treatment as prevention was not, the gold standard. Individuals were recommended to wait until like their CD4 cells dropped below 350 to start therapy. So he definitely had a more difficult road, with his HIV. I would also say, I think watching Rent, the movie and the
Really?
musical so many times, and it's a song specifically. It's the Will I Lose My Dignity? And I think, oh, see, you already got me tearing up. Stop. Um, I didn't want that to happen to me, or I didn't want to have to put that on my family, you know? So I think as soon as the decisions were finalized that treatment as prevention was, everything that we should be aiming for, I started therapy immediately, and I've been undetectable since then. And I think even like thinking about just the HIV therapies that I've been on. So rather than like starting with the first daily pill, I started on like the second generation of daily pills. I'm trying not to call any brand names because we don't know who
Hmm.
pays for these things, but I would definitely
That's true. That's true. The check ain't cleared yet, so no brand names. Thank you. Thank you for that.
but I would definitely say the therapy that I decided to take, was not connected to like any vivid dreams or anything like that. And then I also made this. I'm a first wave implementer, so
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You want the latest, the greatest, the best. Now,
yeah.
the interesting thing, the one thing that I find so interesting about you, especially when you talk about the burden you could have or that could have been placed on your family, I just had a niece. I just had my only niece. And the second that I laid eyes on her, everything changed. Everything in my life changed. Not changed to the degree that probably that her parents' lives changed, but I literally think about my life with her in mind. And you say that you talk about how you didn't want to put a burden on your family. Does the burden feel the same now as it did years ago when you learned of your status?
I don't think so. And I think that's as a result of like internalized stigma and shame. I've talked about this a few places, but I learned my status shortly after graduating from undergrad. So that was I graduated in May. I learned my status in June of 2008. I didn't necessarily talk about my status with my family until 2015, and I would definitely say those 7 years or so was definitely me creating, just different tropes that like I would be shunned for my family. I would inadvertently, pass HIV on to someone somehow. In addition to like other just like dark things and like sitting here now, 14 years in, that all that is a stigma, all that is internalized shame. All that is as a result of everything that we see consistently within society. I mean, back then we didn't have like a counter narrative. We didn't have, a Thrive support services. So I definitely think like all of those answers to what living with HIV could mean, or even just like living as a black gay man, could
Mm-hmm.
be, just wasn't here yet.
That was a very, very humble, shameless plug for Thrive SS because clearly you are one of the founders, which we will talk about shortly. I I'm always I think that the reason why I always circle back to this conversation with you is because while we are not that far apart in age and in large part in experience, while you claim Rochester, you're a Southern belle, just like me. And but I do think that when it comes to HIV and our experience with it, you and I are on two different sides of the aisle. And every time you tell me something, I'm gobsmacked at the shit that y'all go through. It's so baffling to me that HIV is still a conversation that It's still a deal breaker. Is it a have you seen it as a deal breaker in dating in your dating life
Yeah, I have.
recently?
What's recently? You know, you got to quantify these types of terms. What's recently?
Oh, because you ain't a doctor yet. But I'll say in general, and let's start with in general. Have has HIV been the barrier between you connecting with a person emotionally, intimately? Has that come up for you? What did that look like?
I it has. I would say not like in I would say, you know, the last 18 months or so. But I would definitely say it's reared its ugly head a few times. You know, I think about probably like two situations that I encountered while I was living here in Atlanta and you know, on and off of the different dating applications and websites. Um,
Dating, dating.
dating
Mm-hmm.
application and website. But I would definitely say, you know, when that occurred, it was a, oh wow, you know, this is still a real thing. Um, you know,
Are
and
you surprised at that still?
I have to say no. Um, because again, I just think of the communities that we call home, you know. I mean, I think if you ask someone, name someone who's living with HIV, like we still only go to like Magic Johnson or maybe you know Ray Lewis Thornton. I don't think society, especially like Black society, can actively call someone in recent history um,
You
to
mean
be
the broader society?
in the broader society.
The
Sure,
yeah, okay.
sure.
Because
I
I
mean,
because I think I do think that you know you and I talk about the bubble, people who know about HIV and its prevalence or work in HIV, and then the people that are without. And I think in gay culture there is a bubble, and then there's people who are outside of the bubble. But I think I would argue that in gay culture, most of us can name somebody living with HIV in the Black gay community. You don't think so?
maybe,
I
maybe.
mean, you were on the Democratic National Convention stage saying that you are living with HIV. People know you, at least you.
I think
You
people,
introduced Hillary. HRC came after you, and you were saying, I'm living with HIV. The people know somebody. You are, Magic Johnson ain't even been on that stage. Now, granted enough, he's been on several others, but
many
I,
things.
I, I would, I do think that that the gays know somebody.
I think Glad and I think Glad did a study last year. See, you always get me talk about research, but I think the study showed that 48%, so almost majority, you know, could not name someone living with HIV in their life. So I mean I think it's
Of
still not.
who? Of what was the who were they asked the questions to?
They were asking LGBTQ identified folks. It was the national.
Really?
It was their stigma survey. I'll send it to you.
Sciency. I'm calling sciency. But
Okay.
okay. I mean, if there was a study to say is that half of us don't know someone who is living with HIV, then clearly I got to go with it. Do you think that is the reason why your experience in date because 18 months ago where HIV was a deal breaker, that's recent. We were in a we in a pandemic 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Like we were wearing masks and social distancing 18 months ago. And
Yeah.
somebody said to you, "Oh, I'm good on
Yeah.
that cuz you are living with HIV."
Literally, those same words. I'm good. Peace.
Really?
Mhm.
That is so because the reason why it's baffling to me is Like I said, I'm on PrEP. And for that reason, HIV is a non factor to me. I know how to protect myself so I don't have to worry about, I don't have to stress about your status. That's the reason why I got on PrEP, is because I didn't want that to be an issue for me. I wanted to be able to take hold of my own agency and be able to connect with, my kinsmen on several levels. But you're telling me 18 months ago, somebody was like, I'm good.
Absolutely. I
Fuck
mean,
them.
you also have to, you still have to put it in context. We see less than 10% of those individuals on prep look like you and I. So 10% is 1 in 10. Okay.
Hmm.
So if we're sitting in a room with 10 people, all right, nine of them are definitely not going to be black if they say they're on prep. In a city like Atlanta, it may be a couple of more than one or two. But again, like, how many cities are not like Atlanta across the South and across this nation? So that's really
All of
the.
them. All of them. Atlanta is a one of a kind. One of a fucking kind.
I'll drink to that, friend.
I will drink to that as well. For everybody watching, let me know in the comments when, even if you are not living with HIV, how often does it come up in dating? How often is that a deal breaker? What kind of language do you hear? I really want to know that, because the fact that you said that shit is baffling to me.
I think it still happens more times than not, and it's miseducation. It's
It
miseducation,
it it definitely is. It miss lack of, it's something about education.
certainly.
I fully agree with that. Um, Shifting gears a little bit. When I talked, I had the luxury of talking to you when you first got, you switched from once a day medication to injectables.
Woo.
Watch this. Watch this. That was, you have been on pills for over 10 years at the time we had this conversation. Watch this. But like, so when I was thinking about talking to you, I was like, I did the numbers. I did the numbers. You have refilled a prescription 120 times in your life. Roughly 3,600 pills you have taken to remain medically adherent, undetectable, all
Yeah.
of those things. All these times of refilling prescriptions, what did it feel like that first day of not having to take a pill?
Oh my God. It was freeing. So the last night, that Monday night, taking those last two pills, I was like, oh wow, like this might be the last two HIV pills I take for the rest of my life.
That was a year, that was almost a year ago. That was in January we had that conversation.
Before you finish this, you remember on the second to last Oprah Winfrey show when Diane Sawyer, Gail, and Maria Shriver was on the stage and they presented the tree and it said,
Mm-hmm.
you contributed to 86,000 people going to school. Like every time I watch that clip, even thinking about that clip, that's the tree moment for me. A. B, I literally had my injections today. Okay. So like
Is your
what
booty sore?
so it's not in the butt. I'm not gonna take my clothes off. I'm not gonna take my clothes off. Okay. Just imagine. But like honestly, the shot is like right in here. So you get one side over here and you get one shot on this side. And like I don't go
And
back
that's it.
and that's it. I don't go back for until January 31st.
And so by the time you take your next injection, you will have been on injectables for a year.
Yeah.
After 10 years of taking a pill damn near every day.
Yeah.
What does it feel like now?
I think I'm ready for the next wave of injectables. I think I'm ready for something more long term. Long acting. So if we are at 6 visits, I'm ready to go to 3 visits. I'm ready to see what 2 visits would look like. But it's truly exciting, and it's thinking about the people who look like us. Even I've lived here since 2010, and we've had individuals who have died as a result of complications and not consistently taking medication. um, just truly thinking about what of a hope, or even just a game changer this could have been, if we had this a little bit sooner. um, it's really humbling.
So I was trying my hardest. I was gonna have 3,600 pills like in my hands. I tried my hardest. Like the Amazon package is coming tomorrow. I really wanted to get it, just so, if for no other reason, I wanted to see what 3,600 pills looks like. Just the idea that 3,600 somethings have passed through your life is, and now you don't have to do it anymore, potentially. Like you, it was once a month and now it's once every 2 months. So again, this is kind of the one of the juxtaposition moments. Like for me, I take prep so I don't have to think about HIV. When you were taking pills, did it feel like a daily reminder of HIV, like HIV was ever present?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like the pill is definitely a daily reminder. I think for me, it was a little bit easier. I think the harder portion, of the reminder truly was probably, the times that I would have to do like blood work, just to
Mm-hmm.
ensure, that, I am the healthiest that I could be. So like sitting in the chair, having a tourniquet, and truly, and my doctor is a vampire, and the people at LabCorp and Quest, and I mean, on a good day, it could be like 3 vials. On some days, it could be 8, 9, 10 vials of blood, testing you for everything. So I definitely think those were, the hardest moments, or definitely the moments that this is, an active part of you.
And so does your treatment therapy now feel like you turned a corner? Like it's a different, it's a lighter, a less ever present kind of, does it feel like HIV is less serious for you specifically? Not epidemic, but like for you in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and I mean, I travel a lot, for work and for whatever other purposes. Having to, remember to throw in a bottle of your medication in a bag, um,
Mm-hmm.
could be really, really difficult. I mean, I've been a couple of places, um, where I open my bag and my bottle of pills aren't there. Luckily I know how to navigate different systems, and I can call someone in any city that I'm in and be
Cause you
like,
got to hook up. You got to hook up. Let's be clear. You can talk about navigating systems. You got to hook up because you are my hookup. If I get somewhere in that little blue pill ain't where I need it to be, I call Daniel. Hook me up, bro. I need a fix.
I'm in a bind, Nate. I'm in a bind, Nate.
Help me, nigga. That's the vibe. That is the total vibe. So, but yes, but that is public health privilege. That because Joe Schmo doesn't know a Daniel or a Jay or a Torian or an Abraham, the people that are in the comments. They don't know us well enough to be like, I just need 5 pills until I can refill or I get back home.
Yeah.
And so public health privilege is real.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and I think that's one of the biggest things that this is free consulting for the girls who could be listening. But I think that could be one of the biggest game changers. Hey, Fred, Mark and I went to high school together in
Hey,
Rochester, New York. So shout outs to Rochester. That's my friend. She's in the DRPH program with me. She just successfully defended her dissertation prospectus. So, like, she's the real deal. Okay, she's about to be finished with the
she's the
program.
real deal. Hey,
She's the real
Kiara.
deal. Yes.
Hey, Kiara. He loves you too.
But no, it is a privilege, and I definitely think like one of the easiest things we could do as systems of care, and we'll stop talking about research. um if we just had like a 800 number, 877 number for individuals just in those specific minds, individuals who is switching their jobs and don't have insurance for like 2 weeks, but running out of pills. I can't tell you the number of people who, I assist in that moment of need, and like no system is truly addressing that piece. So yeah.
Yeah, I will say that as much as I do not ever want to go back in the bubble, like offering direct services, like I think that my life would look a lot different had I not spent some time working in public health, going to these conferences and seeing these people who I love and respect and appreciate, who have really stepped in. Like, I remember moving to Atlanta and not knowing where to go for anything. Uninsured, unemployed, stuck, but horny. So it was just all these things happening at the same time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean. You know what
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, and luckily, it's folks like the people who are in the comments that are helping folks who look like us. I mean, I think the
Hmm.
scary part is um, in those communities who don't have a us. Like who
Yes.
is truly helping those brothers, who is truly helping those sisters, who are truly helping those folks navigate these crazy waters.
Crazy, crazy, difficult, um, unknown waters. Because the thing about, because this is one thing I know, and I hope I'm not over speaking, but the one piece that is common is you don't know how to navigate this shit until you're in it. Like,
Absolutely
I
not.
don't know. Prep does something different for me than treatment therapies do for you, but you don't know what to do until you're doing it. You kind of learn this thing in flow, in
Yeah,
process.
yeah,
And
yeah,
a lot of times we're interacting with systems, with people, in professional and personal relationships that are not as sensitive to our experience. So, along those lines, though, what is something that you wish broader culture, gay culture, knew or understood about HIV that you think we might not get? Now, I'm not talking research. I mean, what is something you wish people like me really got about people like you?
I think that would be that we all have a response to HIV.
What do you mean?
I think regardless of if you're negative or living with HIV, on PrEP or not on PrEP, on treatment or not on treatment, each of us has a response and a connection to HIV. I think it literally can start as a conversation with our healthcare providers. Even
Mm.
if that healthcare provider is a pharmacist at the CVS or the Walgreens, I think that could extend to each other. I can't tell you how much health information we pass to each other just in like friendship networks and stuff. So I think the message would be everyone has a response to HIV.
And see, that wasn't sciencey at all. That was really good.
It was
That was
sciencey.
that.
It
That
was.
was, I mean, the underpinnings of it was sciencey.
It's the fusion. It's
But
the fusion of innovation and social network
that
effect.
was, you definitely diffused those innovations to communicate that in a way that wasn't so sciencey. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, soon to be Dr. Driffin. I'm really proud of you. But I think that is a perfect place. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. What up, though? Next week, I'm talking to the writer and star of the new web series Love and Us. I found the series on socials, binged the first 3 episodes, and I hit him up on IG, and I'm excited that he agreed to talk to me. My guest is going to be Jay Penn. Then the podcast is new every Wednesday. You can download Dear Black Gay Men podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. And Thursdays, Rob the Wizard and I are live for Black Light Matters right here on the YouTube channel. Now, let's get back into this episode of Dear Black Gay Men Live. Okay, every episode. What?
I was gonna say these commercials is fancy, friend. Like you playing previous interviews with me. I am still waiting for that interview that we did in person, like before COVID.
Years ago? That was like years ago.
I
got
don't.
the footage. I was looking at it.
I'm about to say I don't think it came. What was it aired? I didn't see it. Was that like?
Yes, I'll send you a link.
Okay, that was Beyonce and Alicia Keys taping "Put It in a Love Song." Like we just did.
That was. It's hard to. I could go into a whole bunch of things about what that was. It was not appropriate. The conversation around it was not appropriate, but the conversation we had was good. Okay. But every episode of Dear Black Gay Men Live, I ask my guests questions from tonight's conversation cards. Tonight's conversation cards is a question deck that invokes deep, stimulating, and tantalizing conversation. And it's perfect to set the atmosphere for a first date, a third date, or even if you're in a relationship. Daniel, your question is coming from Essential First Date Icebreakers.
Ooh, okay.
I try to pick good questions. Most people think I'm going to ask them about sex. I'm not going to ask you about sex.
Okay.
Because you're soon to be doctor. This question says, what qualities are you looking for in a partner?
In a mate? Mm-hmm.
Someone who's going to cuff it. You feel like falling in love. Tonight. You're in the mood to fuck something up. What qualities are you looking for?
I need a drink in my cup. I think some of those qualities begin with trust. Why are we both playing with our J's?
Because I was like, because I'm nervous of what you're gonna say. I don't want
to go too deep in it. Trust, communication. I think.
What does trust look like? We're talking dating. We're not talking relationship, marriage. We're talking dating. What does trust look like when you're dating someone?
I think trust looks like giving the closest version of all of me in that setting. I think all of me is a lot, right?
Yes. Yes. All of you is a lot.
I mean, yes. I like particular places to eat at. I like particular things to drink. I like particular times of day to go places. I'm not traveling like outside of the circle. Like all of these things could be a lot, right? So like in dating, I can like relax some of those things until we go deeper. That's all I want to answer.
When you say relax, does that mean you're going to be less controlling, or relax like they fit into your mold? What does that mean?
I'll be less controlling.
So you acknowledge you're controlling a little bit.
I like to have particular things in order. Yes. I am acknowledging that.
Okay. I mean, I'm not dating you, so okay.
Yeah.
So trust is one of them. What's another quality you look for when you're dating?
Um, I think individuals who are not afraid to dream.
Okay.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I think I know life is hard for everyone. And I think we can like get stuck in routines really quickly. But I enjoy communicating and talking to different people who, can like pull themselves out of that and see a future and truly dream. I think dreaming is cool.
Do you dream?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you dream about relationship? Let me ask that. Because
Oh,
I
cool.
mean, I think becoming a doctor, that's a dream. So it's clear that you're a dreamer. Do you dream about relationship, connection, intimacy still?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. I dream of creating new traditions, for me and my partner. I dream of, introducing those traditions to our larger family and whatnot. So, yeah, I dream. One of my biggest
Okay.
dreams this year, I wanted to I wanted to go higher per se, in one particular portion of my travel experiences, and
Oh,
I
I know what you're
achieved,
talking about.
and I
I
achieved
know what you're
that
talking about.
dream.
I know what you're talking about. Again, very good sidestepping brand names. Thank you for that. Till we're getting a check. I know what you're talking about. But okay, got it. But the reason I ask about that, Daniel, is it seems as if a lot of your dreams, or a lot of our dreams, I'm not exempt from this, but a lot of our dreams are things that we can achieve by ourselves. Like you had this particular dream that you're talking about. You said, I wanted to do something. That's my dream. So you did it. Just like becoming a doctor, buying a home, getting a car, all these, starting a business, traveling. And so I wonder, what does dreaming look like with you plus someone else that you can't control? Do you do that?
Absolutely, and I think I will push back on your premise. Doing it by myself, I think we under account the support structures that we sit in.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, there's always people pushing or saying something. Um, at least I'll use an I statement. I always have individuals pushing or saying something, allowing me to reconsider the thoughts that I have, to make that dream more of a reality.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely say dreaming with someone in a relationship, or even, in a situationship, because I think individuals in situationships have dreams and may accomplish those things as well.
But I think, feel, I believe that having a support system and having a dream that is equal parts their contribution and mine are different. Like my brother is watching this live stream right now. He is part of my support system. He ain't over here producing it with me, but he is a part of my support system. I think those are different things. And so my dream of having a podcast that millions of people watch is great, and he can encourage me along the way, but he ain't jumping in it. So I that's why I say that I think there's a difference between dreaming with someone and having a support system in the dreams that I pursue individually.
Okay. Okay.
What I love about that is I'm mature enough to be like, a win is a win.
Take
A win is a win.
the W. Take the
A
W.
win is a win. A win is a win. That was it. That's all I needed. So if if you want to spice up your date nights through Q&A, the affiliate link to tonight's conversation cards is in the description on YouTube. Daniel, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. You are always an amazing conversation.
You know,
Amazing.
I'm always here for you, friend. I love you dearly. I'm always here to support, no matter what it is.
Yes, you are definitely a huge part of my support system. And I am very excited that you have achieved your dream this year.
Thank
It's
you.
it's it's interesting because I know what the dream is, and you really did work your ass off to get there. People are
Maybe
gonna be like, "What was the dream? What was the dream?" But I'm here for it.
I'm tired.
I want to thank I want to thank Daniel for joining me. World AIDS Day is December 1st. If you want to volunteer or get involved, you can visit thrivess.org for information about volunteer opportunities in the Atlanta area. That was our show. I am Jay the Gentleman. If you like this episode, make sure you drop a like and a share. Subscribe to Dear Black Gay Men on YouTube, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.